16 million waves. 16 million waves. Let's go. One step closer again to the 20 million waves milestone. I'm very happy about that one. This is my current Crow Castle wave build or gold build, whatever you want to call it, that I use with the highest level Devil Horn, the Devil Horn +5. So in this video we will go through the build entirely. I will show you every single item, every single unit, every single level, everything related to the build, so you can see how the build is running, what do I have in here currently. First of all, let's start with a battle analysis so you can see the battle results in here. So this is an example wave of how they do look like. This is the overall damage distribution, and this is the boss damage distribution in here. As you can see, Taunatsus and Succubus are doing the most against the bosses, while Taunatsus and Goblin are doing most against the wave overall, so there's a lot of like normal monster damage in there. And my gold looks something like this. It can be a little bit less, it can be a little bit more as well. Here's another example wave with the same similar kind of results, and here are the boss damage results. Angels a bit higher in here, and also around the same amount of gold. I do run the maximum 25 CDEs in this build, which is kind of something that you have to do if you want to run the highest level Devil Horn. I have just a couple of bonus golds in here, nothing too crazy in here. I could probably try to invest in a little bit more in that sense. But let's go through the units and their items. I'm going to start with the Taunatsus, and these are the Taunatsus items I'm currently running. This is a really nice bow. The flying damage could be something else for waving purposes. It does help against the flying monsters, but I would rather have something else in this line for waving purposes, but it's good enough. It's a really solid bow. Whereas this, on the other hand, is just absolutely perfect in this purpose for the waving for the Taunatsus. Double damage, crit damage with item quality line, which increases all the values that you see about the item quality line, so they are actually the yellow lines in here, so it's just a stronger item than what it would be without the item quality line. Absolutely beautiful. And then bring the Orb of Power in here. My Chrono is just running CDE items with some MP cost reduction in here. And in here as well, same thing in here, so that I can get 3.6% MP cost for Chrono. Military Band Male, just running cooldown skill level +1 lines and bonus gold line. Nothing else matters for him, you just want the cooldown skill levels and bonus gold lines. I do have the Cursed Orb in here. You could run some other orb in here for sure as well, but Military Band Male is a great option for the Cursed Orb because he doesn't have a skill, so he can actually use a red orb in your setup. On my Orc Band, I have, again, well, CDE lines, nothing else really matters. You don't need anything for the Orc Band. And some runes in here, as you can see, and CDE in here as well. Nothing else really matters for him, and bonus gold skill level orb in here. You can use any green orbs on any super hero anyway, so it doesn't really matter who is holding what. For example, Alchemist is holding the damage skill level, they could be just vice versa reversed between Orc Band and Alchemist. That doesn't make any difference whatsoever. In here I have not so great staff. I'm still looking for a double cooldown CDE staff that I could use for Alchemist. Eventually, maybe I will get it at some point, or maybe I won't, who knows. And here I have just double cooldown a CDE with some MP cost. I could use another MP cost reduction rune in here, but this is fine for me. Currently, I don't really need to worry about that. Then, the first main damage deal, as you saw, Goblin did a huge amount of damage in the battle results, in the battle analysis. And he does absolutely wonders in this setup. It's like a fire-based setup anyway, so he deals a lot of damage to normal monsters. He kills so many of those. This item is just basically perfect as you can run for Goblin with the CDE line. And the TNT damage rune. This TNT damage rune is something you absolutely want for Goblin. This drops from the intermediate dungeon, so if you wanna run Goblin as a damage dealer in a wave build, you will need the TNT damage as close to +50% as possible, which is the max. So this could also be still improved a little bit, but it's good enough for this purpose. And then I have double attack speed, crit chance. Attack speed and crit chance are good for goblins, so those are great lines. Crit damage and fire damage, everything helps, but mainly crit chance is stronger than crit damage because of the orb, as you will see in a second. And here I have just I have one own bonus gold rune because I want to like maybe boost a little bit of my gold income from the Goblin, because Goblin kills a lot of normal monsters, so I just gonna take advantage of that and get a little bit of extra gold from from my Goblin in there. And we are running the Fire Critical Orb in here. So, because this gives us a lot of critical damage, that's why I want to run critical chance in the items itself rather than critical damage. Of course, both lines can be useful, but crit chance over crit damage because you get so much crit damage from this orb. Here's our Pure Wizard. 6.12 seconds cooldown is what I can get with the maximum 25 CDs and a CDE rune and 1 DCD IQ item. So this not the worst, not the best DCD IQ item in the game. It could be improved, but I'm quite satisfied with this one. But I do need a staff still with those same lines so that I can get a lower Pure Wizard. Otherwise, I can't get a below 6 seconds Pure Wizard, which I really would hope to get for this build eventually. So the staff would really be important for me. Then we have Angels, who are quite interesting in here. I have Angels on double proc, so their cooldown is below, as you saw, Pure Wizard is 6.12 and they are 5.86, so every time, like, they get cast twice for every Pure Wizard cycle, which gives me a lot of Angels on the field. They are teleporting and they are using the static orb, which means most of their damage, basically 99.9% of their damage comes from this orb, which deals percentual damage to the enemy's total HP. So that's the reason they are actually doing, without this orb they would be doing absolutely 0 damage, but because of this orb they do pretty decent boss damage, as you also saw in the battle results. I just have double cooldown item in here with some attack speed rune. I'm missing 1 attack speed rune in here that could improve their attack speed a little bit. So more attack speed means more attacks, means more damage from the static orb. So that's an improvement I could make. And in here I have another double cooldown with the CDE line and 2 attack speed runes. So this is also basically perfect. They can run this damage line in here, could be attack speed, and then it would be perfect item for this purpose. But this is more than enough for the Angels for this purpose. Then Paladins, who are also human summons for this build, their role is just to body block. So they just have a CDE line with damage reduction red line, which helps them to survive so they don't get killed so easily, which is handy. And in here the same thing. I have a little bit of stun in here, doesn't hurt at all. Not the most important thing. The most important thing is the damage reduction and the CDE line, so that I can get that 25 CDEs. But the stun line, I'm not gonna be complaining about that. Sand Orb is kind of just like a funny choice, gives me a little bit more paladins every now and then. It's not really reliable because it's only 9.2% chance to activate. So maybe you get 1 extra cast of paladins per wave or something. It's minor, but I do like it. More bodies on the field, more body blocking. That's nice. Then we have Fire Windy, who is another main damage dealer for this setup. Windy kinda clears the monsters that Goblin doesn't get a chance to clear, and also she deals damage to flying monsters as well, and Goblin cannot hit flying monsters, so that's why she also helps. In this fire-based setup I have the CDE item for her, which is basically 4 out of 4, so best item you can get basically for Fire Windy. Tornado +1 rune is also something that you want for Windy if you use her for damage for this kind of setup, so also you need to farm for this rune if you want to use Windy. And in here I have another IQ item. I have double critical lines. I have 1 cooldown line so that her cooldown is better in sync with the Pure Wizard cooldown. She could be next to Pure Wizard on the deck, so that would kinda negate the need for a cooldown line possibly for the item. But since I need to have Angels next to Pure Wizard so that I can double proc them, I need to have the cooldown line in here. I also have 1 own bonus gold in here as well, same as for Goblin, so I get a little bit extra gold from the normal monsters that Goblin and Windy kills during the waves. And in here I have the critical orb, because the Goblin is using the fire critical orb, I have the weaker, like normal critical orb for Windy for this purpose in here. Then Slingers. Slingers I'm currently running actually only knockback and slow. I had stun before I switched to Devil Horn +5, but I had stronger knockback items with CDE lines, so I switched to just using knockback. It works really well for the highest level Devil Horn. Early game or earlier on I would just use probably stun lines instead of knockback, but I have in here like triple knockback, 1 slow line, and CDE lines and attack speed so that they can deal more crowd control, because that's their reason. They do no damage, they just deal crowd control, they stall the enemies enough so that I can kill them. And the physical orb for more attack speed, because they are using the physical promotion in here, which is the middle promotion path in here. That's why you can use the physical orb to increase their attack speed. You could use the orb of agility as well, but I have that in use otherwhere in here. Then Necromancer, who of course is the main, one of the most important units in the build. I have some skill duration, cooldown line in here, cooldown skill level +1, and same thing in here, skill duration, cooldown line, cooldown skill level +1 line in here. And another green orb. Again, the green orbs can be on anyone, doesn't make any difference who they are put on. Dark Skeleton to boost the Town Archer's damage, so a little bit of skill duration, CDE line, and in here as well, same thing, CDE, a little bit of skill duration as well. And critical chance skill level orb for Dark Skeleton. Then the final hero on the castle, Succubus, who is using the orb of agility, that's why the slingers don't have it. Succubus really benefits from high attack speed, so you want either orb of agility or orb of luck for her, depending on the lines. This staff is not the best. I probably will try to improve this in future, but it gives me a CDE line, it gives me 3 useful lines, so it's enough for me right now. And also, this is still the L item. I've been using this for as long as I've been using Succubus. The normal lines are the best that you can get. Critical chance and attack speed are the best lines you can get for Succubus. Poison stack is kind of maybe not the most optimal, but it's here, and 1 attack speed line in here as well. So I want to get an E version, maybe an IQ version of this item. Preferably that would be really, really optimal for me. But those are the heroes. Then we of course still have our leader, Solar. Main purpose of Solar is to boost the crit chance of Goblin and Windy, so she just gives them more DPS in that sense, but also she deals a small amount of damage, take care of a little bit of the monsters. So I do have in here, well, I have damage reduction line so that she doesn't die, doesn't really usually die anyway, but maybe that helps. I don't really have a good staff with the CDE line that I would want to use on her. Ice Meteor makes her meteors to be able to slow the enemy, so minor crowd control thing in here. Doesn't really make maybe a huge difference in DH5 because the resistance are so high, but it definitely doesn't hurt. So I would use that for Solar if you run Solar. And also in here, well, I have area skill damage, which does help with the damage for Solar. Again, this is maybe not the best item, but there's also like a little bit more knockback in here. So basically she's also working as a crowd control unit kind of for this setup. Damage lines could probably be better. And also maybe another area skill damage line for this item as well eventually. So that would just boost the damage that you get from the meteor. I'm running the critical chance orb in here, so this could be on Succubus as well. But it's just in here for now, and that seems to be working quite well. And well, the only tower that has any items in this build is the Death Worm. For my MP recovery, the fire units, they eat so much mana that I really want to get a lot of MP from Death Worm, and I'm running CD items on my worm with tower runes that I farmed from the expert dungeon after the latest update. So I have poison, attack speed, crit chance, all of these lines help. Attack speed is really nice. Well, any damage boosting line basically helps. It's not gonna be doing a lot of damage anyway, like it's not gonna be really clearing the monsters in any way, but it's just gonna help you get more and more MP in this case. So in here, again, double poison, crit damage does help as well, some attack speed runes, and of course the tower rune as well, which is required if you want to use E-level items on your towers. And I have the poison orb in here to boost the damage even further, so I can get even more mana from my Death Worm. My treasures that I've been running are currently like this. So when I'm running the highest level Devil Horn and I'm not really required to push a lot, like I get a lot of waves down with this setup, but I don't really have to like maximize my speed. I'm just running this, so 2 gold treasures and a power claw to make sure that my build is running smooth and stable. Eventually I will, when I get the DC Laku staff, then I will get rid of power claw completely, probably. But right now, like, I'm chilling with this is fine. I'm more than satisfied how the build is running. When I need to burn a little bit of my time autobattle, for example, or I want to like use time autobattle to get more gold and also push a little bit of waves, then I usually do just like this and use my time autobattle. So eventually the goal when I get the DC Laku staff will be to run the build like this, so with the horn without the power claw. So this would be the maximum one, but like I said, currently when I'm using Gold Autobattle just chilling, I'm using this setup and it's been running just fine. And then the skill tree, so I'm just gonna scroll through it like this first. I have 223 skill points. I kinda have everything that I need, even a couple of extra points basically. Hence there's a couple of MP cost reduction nodes in the physical tree. They are not really doing a whole lot of anything in this build, but I'm just basically having what I need in here right now. And for example, in here, actually, I have these tower and a cube S-grade items. I don't need this anymore because I already have E items for my tower. So there's also 2 extra points that are being used in there that I could use somewhere else. However, this is how it runs. It starts from the fire path because I'm using the fire, like I'm banking on the fire units, Goblin and Windy, to do a lot of damage during the wave. And town archers don't benefit from any of the starting paths, so it doesn't really matter in that sense. Other option could be the poison to boost succubus, but it just makes more sense to get the extra 10% more damage for my fire units instead. I have everything in the fire tree that boosts anyone in the build. So solar section in here, goblin section in here, and of course Windy in here as well. And all the MP cost reductions so that I can get a little bit less MP cost for the fire units because they do cost incredible amount of mana, so I have all of those, and of course every normal point that boosts their damage in any way. And otherwise, I just have, well, in the ice tree, I do have the windy nodes in here. These are required to run fire windy, and also the powder nodes that are required to run goblin as well. They boost goblin's damage, so you really want those as well. The poison tree is here just for succubus, and well, worm as well for more MP recovery. But mainly to boost succubus damage so that I can get more boss damage from succubus. And the other builds, other trees are just for support mainly. So that's how the skill tree looks like. If you have any questions on some skill node, why it's in here or why it isn't in here, leave a comment down below. I will try to give you a proper answer why something is or isn't in here. But that is how it's running. Any questions, again, leave a comment down below. How did you like it? I'm gonna try to get the DC Laku staff as soon as I can, and then get the 20 million waves eventually, and those are my goals right now. So I'll be seeing you in the near future as well regarding those 2 points. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.